At Gate C-12, the day authority got checked. The metal gangway connecting Terminal C to American Airlines Flight 237, a Boeing 737 preparing for departure from Atlanta to Washington, D.C., was narrow, stuffy, and filled with an air of tense anticipation. Outside, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport bustled with its usual mid-morning traffic, the rhythm of rolling suitcases and boarding announcements playing like background music to a regular travel day. But inside that steel corridor, something far from regular was unfolding. Special Agent Kiera Brooks, a poised, sharp-eyed African-American woman in her mid-30s, took her final steps toward the aircraft. Dressed in pressed black slacks, a cream silk blouse, and a navy blazer, she looked every bit the professional. Her posture was relaxed yet efficient, her pace unhurried. She handed her boarding pass to the smiling flight attendant at the door, a young man named Tyler Adams, who offered a polite nod and gesture toward the plane. Just as she was stepping over the threshold, a sharp voice rang out behind her, slicing through the civilized silence. "Hold it right there." Kiera stopped mid-step, startled, and turned to see two airport police officers pushing their way into the gangway. The first, a bulky, red-faced man with a crew cut and an aggressive stance, wore a name tag that read Lieutenant Derek Langston with badge number 4687. Behind him followed a thinner, clearly younger officer named Ryan Beck, badge number 5193, whose nervous energy contrasted sharply with his partner's aggression. Langston didn't say a word before seizing Kiera's arm with a rough hand, nearly pulling her off balance. "Were you rushing off to?" "Step aside. I need to check you out," he said, voice oozing with suspicion. Kiera straightened, adjusting her sleeve and stepping back without resistance but also without fear. "I'm boarding this flight." "What exactly is the issue, officer?" Langston squinted at her like he was trying to solve a puzzle he didn't like. His eyes scanned her from her polished heels to the neat briefcase in her hand. "You don't look like a regular passenger. You look like trouble. What's in that case? What are you doing on this flight?" He shot a glance at Beck. "Check her credentials." Tyler Adams froze in place, the color draining from his face as several nearby passengers stopped behind Kiera. Eyes widened. Mouths gaped. But no one intervened. Kiera, staying calm, reached into her purse and pulled out her Georgia driver's license and boarding pass, holding them out. Langston snatched them, glanced at the ID with visible disdain, and flung it back like it meant nothing. "This ID says nothing to me," he growled. "You look like you got something to hide. Fancy suit, confident walk. What are you hiding, huh? Drug money? Fraud? You people always think a fancy outfit makes you invisible." Kiera drew a slow, steady breath. Her voice was measured but firm. "Officer Langston, what you just said was discriminatory. If there's a legitimate reason for stopping me, I will comply. But otherwise, you're harassing me based on stereotypes. That is unacceptable." Langston's nostrils flared. Beck visibly tensed. Langston took her words as a direct challenge. "Oh, we've got a smart one here. Thinks she knows the law," he sneered. "Fine. Beck, cuff her." Resisting an officer. Beck hesitated, eyes flicking nervously from Langston to Kiera. "I haven't resisted," Kiera said sharply. "I'm not under arrest. You have no right." "Shut up," Langston barked, suddenly slamming her against the metal gangway railing. "You want to add resisting again?" Beck, trembling, pulled the handcuffs from his belt and hesitated again before locking them around Kiera's wrists. The metal bit coldly into her skin. The sound echoed in the gangway, marking an unjust shift in power. Passengers gasped. Tyler Adams looked horrified. No one spoke. But Kiera, even in cuffs, remained composed. As an FBI agent trained in crisis situations, her mind kicked into high gear. She took in every detail: Langston's aggressive body language, Beck's trembling hands, the location of 3 security cameras mounted along the ceiling. Her thoughts were sharp, controlled. She let them drag her down the gangway, not resisting, instead focusing on collecting mental evidence. When they reached the main terminal, she spoke again, this time loud enough for others to hear. "What am I being charged with?" "I demand to know." Langston scoffed. "You'll find out soon enough. Now move it." As they reached the main terminal corridor, Kiera knew she had to act. If they got her into a private airport police office, the situation could become even more dangerous. She stopped moving. "I need to make a phone call," she said, voice calm but commanding. Langston turned, sneering. "No calls." Kiera looked him straight in the eye. "Legally, I have the right to notify my superiors. This is urgent. Don't waste my time. Your superior can't save you." Beck reached out to push her. That's when she moved. Not to attack, but to pivot, subtly shifting her stance to create space and redirect Beck's shove. In the same motion, her voice rang out clear, loud, and impossible to ignore. I am Special Agent Kiera Brooks, badge number 7358, United States Federal Bureau of Investigation. You have illegally detained a federal agent in the act of duty. Tom stopped. Langston's face fell. Beck's mouth hung open. You're lying, Langston croaked. That's a lie. Kiera, her wrist still bound, leaned forward just enough to pull the hidden FBI badge from beneath her blazer. The light from the terminal gleamed off the metal, illuminating her credentials. It hit them like thunder. Passengers stared. Tyler gasped. Sarah Chin, the gate agent, dropped the radio in her hand. Langston's lips moved, but no words came out. Beck stumbled backward, mumbling, We're dead. We're so dead. I want both of you to remain exactly where you are, Kiera said, voice razor sharp. You will not move. You will not touch me again. Langston fumbled for his keys, his fingers shaking so hard he dropped them twice. Finally, he unlocked the cuffs, mumbling apologies. I didn't know. Yes, you did, Kiera said coldly. But now you'll learn what consequences look like. She turned to Sarah. Please call the on-duty airport police supervisor immediately and request backup. This is now a federal matter. Sarah nodded furiously and ran. Kiera then made her own call. Evans, this is Brooks at ATL, Gate C12. I need backup immediately. I've just been unlawfully detained by 2 officers. I have names, badge numbers, and video. Situation contained but urgent. Robert Evans, Assistant Special Agent in charge at the Atlanta FBI field office, answered instantly. We're on our way. 15 minutes later, Sergeant Harold Tate, Langston and Beck's superior, arrived, his eyes wide as he took in the sight of 2 trembling officers and an FBI agent standing in front of a crowd of stunned travelers. What in God's name is going on here? Before Langston or Beck could speak, Kiera stepped forward. I'm Special Agent Brooks, FBI. These 2 officers racially profiled me, assaulted me, and unlawfully detained me during boarding. I have visual witnesses, security footage, and a recorded phone call. Tate froze. Evans arrived seconds later with 3 other agents. Evans nodded at Kiera. We'll handle it from here. He turned to Sergeant Tate. I'm ordering you to place these officers on administrative leave effective immediately. Confiscate their weapons, badges, and communication devices. Tate swallowed hard but complied. Langston, Beck, hand them over. Now. Stripped of their authority, Langston and Beck looked like ghosts of the men who had swaggered into the gangway. Evans took control. Seal this gate. I want all security footage protected. Interview all witnesses. Over the next several hours, Kiera provided a full statement. So did Tyler Adams, Sarah Chin, and several passengers. The footage was clear. Langston's aggression. Beck's compliance. The moment of arrest. The moment of truth. The FBI didn't press federal charges, but they didn't need to. The Atlanta Police Department's Internal Affairs Division launched a full investigation under the watchful eye of Captain Elaine Vargas. The evidence was overwhelming. Beck, broken and remorseful, confessed everything. Langston had a history, unfiled complaints, and formal warnings, but now there was no escaping accountability. 2 weeks later, APD Chief Wallace signed the dismissal orders. Langston and Beck were officially fired. No badge. No uniform. No future in law enforcement. The department released a statement affirming its commitment to ethical conduct and began bias training for all airport units. But it was clear this incident had left a permanent scar and a warning. As for Special Agent Kiera Brooks, she made her meeting in D.C. the next day. Head high. Case report completed. Story not just survived, but reshaped. Because that day at Gate C12 wasn't just about an arrest. It was about a system being forced to face itself. And about a black woman who refused to be silenced.